currently up 1,200, 1,400, 1,500. Ah! Taking gains. Small little uptrend. Let's see if we get a little bounce off this. We got to talk about what we have at this moment, making sure every single trader is dialed in. Happy Monday, if I may add, and we're all ready to rock. Traders, this market has been hot. We've been seeing tons of momentum. We went all the way back up to record highs, and now we are having a slight pullback. But hey, it's time to get everyone all good here. So, traders, what do we have here at this moment? It says market briefing, tech surge. The S&P 500 closed out last week with another new high, lifted by tech stocks. The index added 1.1% on Friday to close at 4,958, above the previous record it hit on Monday. Facebook parent Meta led tech stocks as its shares surged more than 20% after announcing its first ever dividend. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, meanwhile, rose 0.4% to 38,000, which was also good for a record close, and the Nasdaq Composite climbed 1.7%. It was the fourth week of gains to the major indexes to start this week. Stock futures slipped after Fed Chairman Jerome Powell dashed hopes for an interest rate cut in the near term. So, will the magic continue? The biggest tech company earnings are done for the season, but there are still plenty yet to report. The positive news for investors is that it has been a good earnings season so far. About 80% of the S&P 500 quarterly reports have beat estimates, which is slightly higher than normal. So, on Monday, we had McDonald's, which was mixed. Tuesday, Spotify, Spirit Airlines, Frontier. Wednesday, Uber. Thursday, Spirit Airlines and Pinterest, and Friday, Pepsi. So guys, do we have any more kind of Tesla or Google or Amazon or anything crazy like that? Unfortunately, no, we do not. No more of these crazy earnings reports. Kind of things are going to start slowing down. We will have earnings all of this week, and we will have earnings next week, but it's not going to be as big as the Netflix or as Meta or as Amazon. This is the earnings report for this entire week. So if you guys always like being able to be aware of what is the hottest earnings reports, make sure you guys go ahead and check these on out. You guys can save them right now so every single trader is all ready to rock. So absolutely great, absolutely awesome. It says stock futures slip as Powell says Fed needs more evidence before cutting rates. So for anyone who does not know, I'm going to let you guys know right now, Federal Chairman Jerome Powell was actually on CNN 60 Minutes last night, and he said that we are not going to be cutting rates. We need more evidence before we start cutting rates. So it says stock futures are slightly low on Monday morning after the U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell dashed investors' hopes for interest rate cuts in the near term. We want to see more evidence that inflation is moving substantially down to that 2%, he said last night, Sunday, on a 60 Minutes interview. Those comments also echoed remarks made by Powell last week after the Fed's most recent monetary policy meeting. After the Fed kept interest rates unchanged, Powell said that the rate cut in March is very unlikely. So that is where we're basically at this time here, traders. Now, what also is so big at this moment, as we know, is we are seeing the stock market is in a very dangerous position. What's happening here? The stock market is in a very dangerous position here. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, but it's saying at this moment, non-farm payrolls grew by 353,000 in January. Fresh data showed last week that has stripped while average earnings increased 0.6%. So we are having at this time, team, high inflation, higher earnings, and the only solution at this moment is to start laying people off. If I have to pay more money and I have to pay more people more money, well, the only thing I can do at this point is say, okay, well, I got to fire people at the bottom. If I have to pay people more, I have to pay this, then I got to fire people. Then I got to start letting go people. That's, again, how business is working right now. And that's why we're seeing a lot of jobs at this moment, traders. And we're seeing a lot of press releases and people posting heavy layoffs. A lot of people losing their jobs because everyone wants more money with these high interest rates. CEOs are saying, well, I can't pay everyone a ton of money and I can't pay for all the business stuff. Guess what? We're going to have to fire probably half the company so we can afford to pay these people. And on top of that, be able to run our business. So that's, something I definitely want traders to be on top of. And that's something I want traders to be aware of going forward right here is I am expecting to see a lot more layoffs come on up in this future. So let's see what we have at this moment on this market, team. So the SPY right here. This has been so amazing. Will it hit new highs, or was Friday the high? Unfortunately, no one will have the 100% correct answer, but what I can tell you is that we're still holding a very bullish uptrend, and I would not be surprised if we pushed up to 500. So traders, when we take a look at this, notice what we have. We have a bounce play right here, awesome. We have a bounce play right here, awesome. Bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, bounce play, and that's when we start getting a little bit of a crack, but then we start coming back on up, and we have bounce play, bounce play. So it's basically like we've been holding this uptrend. Yes, we did get a little crack underneath this, but we are holding this uptrend at this moment, and I still would count this region right here as a potential dip buy and a potential bounce area. So that is definitely a mark I still want to keep my eyes peeled on. What do I want you guys to realize? Well, what I want you guys to realize is when we take a look over on the SPY hit record highs over on Friday. So on Friday here, the S&P 500 came all the way on up to 496.05. So 496.05, that is currently the brand new record. That's it right now. That is the brand new record at this moment, 496.05. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are we going to surpass 496.05? Are we going to push, 496.05? We're $2.50 away from it. The S&P 500 could easily push back on up, or is 496.05 the actual high? Is that the highest that this market is going to be? So when I take a look over on the SPY here, traders, we can take a look at the daily chart. And when we take a look at the daily chart, how many people remember when the S&P 500 was at 400 bucks? How many people remember over the summer when the S&P 500 started dumping and came all the way down to 410? How many people were here when technically you could have bought all the way back on down towards around 350? We will probably never see 350 again. So the thing is, in stock trading, there is a lot of would've, could've, should've. I should have done this. I could have done that. I would have done this if I didn't do that. There's always a lot of, why didn't I do this when I could have? I think the last thing that a lot of us want to do is say, why didn't we jump in on puts? Or why didn't we look for put contracts as the S&P 500 was near $500? We might go up higher. We could easily go up to 498. We could easily go up to 499. We could easily go up to 501, 502. There still might be another $10 plus over on this market. There easily could be that. But the SPY right here, traders, if it started turning and if it started falling and if it started coming back down to 460 or 470 or 450, I know so many people will say, what was I thinking? Why didn't I try to take advantage of the SPY when it was in the 490s? And it's like, that's kind of what I want traders to just be aware of, is that we are in the 490s right now. Let's see, and let's make sure that we don't miss this opportunity. So how am I going to look to trade today? Today, team, I am leaning towards puts unless we get above 495. My game plan today, I'm going to do my best to follow this to a T, so make sure you are ready. I'm going to look for puts right at the bell on SPX for an SPY drop. There is potential that Friday was the high and we start seeing a fade back down to 491 today. If that is the case, I want to be ready for it. My stop loss will be at 495. The best entry here would be as close to 495 as you can get without going over 495. So be patient for a minute or so if you must. A break of 495, and I think we touch or see new highs. I have to give it to bull/calls above 495. In my eyes, I see 495 as the gatekeeper. Above, and you got to give to bulls. Below, and you can start seeing some weakness. We're down right now $1.90. We do have this potential very nice dropping opportunity here in the next few moments. Looks like SPY has a small little uptrend. Let's see if we get a little bounce off this. Give us a little bounce, and then let's crack it. We might be going all the way down towards 492 soon. There's a new low of the day right now. New low of the day here, traders. The SPY is still trying to get a little bit lower here. I'm going to jump in again. I'm jumping in here, seeing if we are going to get a little sell-off. I'm going for like sub 492. See if we can get some weakness on this play. 492.35 is going to hold up as strong resistance. So we do get a little spike back on up. 492.35-ish could be, again, a strong resistance line for me that I could, again, go ahead and add a little bit more. So here's a little bit of a bounce. I'm going to add a little bit right here. adding a little bit right here to see if we're gonna get that sell off. I'm in on 10 contracts right now. 10 contracts total. Looking for if this thing is going to turn and start reversing. Low of the day is 492.10 so far. Looking for this to dump back underneath that 492.20 mark. Underneath 492.20 is where we really start feeling good, just because we're right next to that low of the day. You know, people are still nervous. People are definitely still scared, looking for that sell-off. So right now we are, you know, having this nice drop. So here's 492.20. This is where I'm basically sitting even right now. And now I'm looking to get myself into the profit if we can start going low. So we can start cracking this low of the day here, team, on this basically this downtrend. We have this nice little downtrend. I'm sitting even at this time, and I want to see if we get that crack now. Crack for that new low. Crack for that sell-off here. Crack for that sell-off. We got 492.10 we're just testing. 492.10 we're testing right now. I'm looking for that 492 crack. 492 crack, team, looking for this low of the day and this sell-off all the way on down to like 491.80. So 491.80, new low of the day right now. We're currently up 600. Let's see if we get that crack on down to 491.80. We want to get that first like very big red candle. We had a couple nice solid red candles. Nothing ginormous though yet. Nothing ginormous. We're definitely very close for, again, that big pullback, that huge drop underneath that 492 mark. Nothing wrong with taking profits in the 491.80s, guys. Here, nice little crack. Currently up 1,200, 1,400, 1,500, $1,500 in profits, guys. 491 crack. Let's keep it going. Let's get this red candle all the way on down. Let's do what we do best, traders. Currently up $2,100 on it. Down! $1,700 on the day, but it looks like we're going back on down to that orange line. Things are starting to turn back on down. Market is starting to get dragged back on down here slightly. Room to fall back on down to 490.97. Here comes the pullback. Here comes the drop. We might get our next leg on down here soon. So you can see that's actually trying to hold up as a little bit of support. You can see how we're almost like going backwards at this point. Like it's holding up as support, but it's now fading. Things are getting weaker. Maybe wait for one green candle, pull the trigger, and let's see if we hit a new low of the day. New low of the day coming on up potentially here. New low of the day, guys. New low of the days are happening. We are back underneath this trend line. We are back underneath this trend line at this point, and that is showing tons of weakness. That we are back underneath this trend line. We could easily sell on off for, again, some new lows all the way down to 490.40. I'm jumping back in. I'm going to jump in here, scalping out some more if I can. Going for like 490.40s. Now it's starting to fade on off. Oh, 490.40s. 490.43. Guys, we're up another $500. Guys, another $500 here. Another $500 here. Taking my gains right now. 650. Currently up $2,400 on the day now. Going to be watching for a pop on up to 490.90 most likely, guys. 490.90. Look to see if we got a reversal for another quick little scalp. Just looking for like one red candle, 10 to 15 cents, make another $500 is the goal. Here's a little bit of a pop right here, guys. I'm going to jump in right now. Jumping in right now on the put side to see if we get a little bit of a pullback. So I'm just going to look for another $300, $400 if I can. Have my sell button ready. Currently up 300. Lock it in. Guys, just made a free $300. Sound good? So guys, just made another $300 of free money. Team, we're waiting for a little bit of a pop and then gonna hammer down some possible put contracts. There's one. Guys, I'm gonna get filled right here at 491.79, just in case he gets pulled back. If it does go up higher, I'm gonna look to get filled at 491.90. But if I just get pulled back right here, I'll take it. If we fall back down to 491.60, no big deal. Hey, I'll take my profits and take, you know, a free $200 again. Let's see if we get a nice little red candle, fall back down to the 491.50s and actually start getting a little bit of a drop. There we go, guys. Guys, nice little red guys, there you go. Oh, baby. Oh! 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 Taking gains. $650. $650 right there, guys. Here's a little bit of a bounce that I could, again, go ahead and add a little bit more. So you can see that's actually trying to hold up as a little bit of support. Low of the day is 492.10 so far. Currently up 1,200, 1,400, 1,500.